few minutes for the participants to join, sir.
No problem.
Thank you, sir.
Start, yeah.
Very good morning, Professor. I'm Pradeep Devanayan, Principal of Sri Venkateshwaraa College of Engineering Technology. Can you hear me, sir? Ramesh?
Yeah, I am there. I can hear you, sir.
Yeah. Warm welcome, sir. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for making an eye-opening session for all the faculty who have been working in our institution and on Pan India also.
My pleasure, sir.
Actually, we are waiting for the participants to join. We can have another couple of minutes to wait, and so that let all other people can join it, sir. Actually, we have nearly 400 plus registrations, but generally we'll have a minimum of 200 participants every day. So till now we have only 86 participants have joined now.
No problem. We'll wait.
A very good morning to everyone present over here. I welcome one and all for the fourth day of our faculty development program. Our today's topic is Jugaad or Frugal Think Innovatively. I'm profusely overjoyed to take this opportunity to introduce our resource speaker, Mr. B. Ramesh Kumar. Mr. B. Ramesh Kumar is an industry veteran with 40 plus years of rich experience in the field of educational assessment, learning experience, and electronics manufacturing process management. He worked in Adequate Career Technologies Private Limited as a chief technology officer. He also worked in Bharat Heavy Electrical Limited for the time period of 1981 to 1999. He received 15 productivity awards in Bell. He created the first program to issue material to production through computers in mid 1980s, which paved way to company-wide automation like MRP2. He published a book named Engineers Yellow Pages. He created one of the best computer-based exam solutions in India. It gives us immense pleasure to have you for this session, sir. Once again, I welcome you all for today's session. With no more further delay, I'm handing over the session to our resource speaker, Mr. Ramesh Kumar, sir. Sir, you can take over the session now, sir.
Thank you, Sangeeta ji, for the kind words. I just want to share the screen first. Can you see this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You want to see the full screen you are able to see now?
Yes, sir.
Sometimes it won't come. Now you can see the full screen. Good morning to all. For the last 3 days, you would have had fantastic sessions about entrepreneurship and all the concepts. And I'll be touching some concepts of similar ideas, maybe you would have already heard. There will be some sort of repetition when you are actually going for entrepreneurship. So you bear with me if there is any repetition of what you already heard in the last few days. But for the flow sake, I'll be continuing in my own way. So this particular presentation will be covering only 2 or 3 things, and I want to spend more time on the question answer session, and because only presentation one side may not be that encouraging. So the first concept is Jugaad. See, everybody would have heard about Jugaad. India is popular for Jugaad, where we think that we want to do something quickly and dirty. If you need something to do, people will do something. So very innovative. Generally, what happens is Jugaad thinks very silly, but actually they serve the purpose. Like take this case. So you don't have a berth. So the people have simply tied their bed sheets and they made as a berth for themselves. Of course, there is some inconvenience to the co-passengers, but if there is nobody is objecting, it's all fine. I am not telling that this is a legal issue, but this is what India is popular for. We'll find a quick solution to have our own comfort levels. This is our Indian toilet. Some people have Western toilets. So some innovative people, they wanted to put as a Western toilet as an Indian toilet. They fixed some sort of stand on the side of the Western toilet. After seeing this, the companies have come out with this kind of a thing where they themselves have built a toilet which is for both Western toilet as well as Indian toilet. This is called innovation being implemented as an industry solution. This is another solution. Suppose this particular person, he didn't have money to actually hire a car to move that almirah which is bought or a refrigerator. So what he has done is he just tied up to his bike and then he towed it along, which is a very cheaper solution for him. It may not be a very safe thing, but he has used his skills to actually maneuver and take it home. This is called Jugaad. So without spending much money, he saved his money in transporting. This is all one time. So Jugaad is always generally one time effort. This is a very popular example which is actually made many Westerners look at India about Jugaad, where this particular person, he wanted to have some sort of temporary pumping for his overflooding water. So he simply tied his bike to this and then he started pumping the water out. This has actually become very famous, and then many people have noticed that how India is popular in Jugaad. This is another person in the house itself. Suppose you have 2 rooms and you have only one air cooler. How do you do it? So this is a very simple solution where they have done this exercise and then it serves the purpose. And this is another brilliant person who has done one air conditioner in 2 rooms. I actually asked LG whether you can have one outdoor unit and 2 indoor units, where one indoor unit I can put it in the hall, another indoor unit I'll put in the bedroom. Because most of the time I am either in a hall or in the bedroom. I will not be in 2 places. Then why I should have 2 ACs? I want only one external unit and 2 indoor units. Of course, in other places they have got centralized air conditioning. I'm not talking about centralized air conditioning. I'm talking about simple 1.5 ton air conditioner. If you can have 2 indoor units, why can't you do it? But mechanical engineers, they have their own problems because they have to route the gas from one outdoor unit to 2 indoor units. It is a challenge actually for them. But this should be possible. But this gentleman has brought a very simple, innovative idea where he has put it like this. So that is where we talk about frugal. Jugaad is one-time exercise. People may not replicate it again and again. But when you add quality to a sort of jugaad, then it becomes a frugal. Frugal is nothing but using a simple solution, but doing a better solution, which can be replicated with a quality. The first example I give is about a soap box in Japan. They are very particular about quality. Many people would have heard about it. Whoever has not heard, I am just repeating this again. So in Japan, what happened? One particular manufacturing line, somehow one empty box has crept through, and some buyer got an empty soap box. The company didn't believe that, despite all their quality checks, how could an empty soap box can go out of the production? So then they started designing a big system with X-ray systems, and then how do you measure, how do you see all that kind of a thing, ensure that no empty box goes again in the future. Finally, one simple worker, he came out and said, why don't we put one simple fan in the end of the line where, because of the breeze of the fan, that empty soap box will be thrown out, and if there is a soap inside, it will not move out. So you regulate the speed of the fan so that only the empty box will flow out. So with this simple solution, they could implement without any issue, and no empty soap box ever left the factory again. So I'm not telling this is a possible solution for everyone every time, but only thing is, this is how the frugal solutions will happen when you think more than what is required. And a final solution and a simple solution will always be useful for your system. This is our India's one of the biggest canal top solar project in Gujarat. What happens in India is there are so many canals built for the farming community, and then most of the time these canals are all acquired by the government, and then the water is flowing through the canals. And for any solar project, you need huge land acquisition costs. So land has to be acquired, then it has to be properly made, and then you have to use infrastructure to create the solar plants. In this particular case, somebody has come out with a brilliant idea where they put the solar panels above the canals. Now what happens? This has a dual purpose. One is the water does not get evaporated easily because there is a shade on the top of it. And the second one is the land acquisition costs have come to zero because already there is a huge land whichever is over the canals. All they have to do is put a structure. Anyway, they have to put a structure. They have put a slightly better structure to make the solar panels. So with this, they have achieved a fantastic solar plant facilities in Gujarat, across Gujarat. This is another classic example. In many hilly areas, there is a fog, but they don't have water. So taking water from ground level to hilltop is a challenge for any of the residents staying on the hilltop. So the World Bank has given a solution like this, where somebody came out with this is called a fog screen. This is set up in wherever the fog is very dense. They set up these particular screens, and whenever the fog goes through this, the fog touches it, and then it becomes water. And in the below there is a small collecting area, and that actually collects the water and then puts into the big tank in the ground, and that is used for their either drinking water or any other purposes. So this is with a simple fog screen, they could actually get the water up on the hills. This is being used in many hilly areas right now. This is a China where, China is popular for implementing many things. So in this particular case, they have got a special train like our metro trains, which actually goes on the road, and the cars can go below it and around it. So the actual train is on the top, and it goes on the rails, and the traffic also is not disturbed. Any car can go under the train itself. So this way, they have actually saved a lot of premium space of the road space or the train track space. They don't need to really change the roads, not much. They have to just put a rails, and they have done this. This is one of the oldest. Initially, it started as a jugaad. They started using the condemned the railway containers, wherever the 20 feet containers and 40 feet containers, wherever they are not useful for movement of the goods, they used to actually move it to some construction site, and where the construction offices used to be used. Many of the civil engineers probably they have to live in this kind of thing in future. Many civil engineers actually work from offices like this in construction sites. So nowadays, this has become a regular exercise. They're actually converting a new containers into this kind of small premium offices, or somebody even constructed houses using the containers. So now this is a frugal idea, and this becomes very easy. If you want to have a set up an office very quickly, within the shortest possible time, you can just ship the container from one place to another place, and you have your office ready. This is another exercise which my friend has done in Hyderabad. What he was into diesel generator business. So he came out with a brilliant idea where he went to Andhra Pradesh Road Transport Corporation and asked them how many condemned buses you have in your place. They said we have got hundreds which are not used. He said, what is the problem? In that, the diesel engines are working well, but only thing is the other things are not working. Either suspension is not working, or tires are not working, the entire thing, body is rusted, or whatever it is. So what he has suggested is, you give me all those engines, I will convert them into diesel generators and give you back. So what happens is, he is only using a few components to convert diesel engines into a diesel generator, and then he will give it back to them. So they were extremely happy. They used to ship all those things to some different depots, bus depots, and he used to send his people to individual depots, and then they used to convert these engines into diesel generators, and they started using those kind of generators very comfortably. So this is where these small ideas can become a big business idea. If you see on the top of it, the people in Delhi, they were suffering in the summer strokes and all that. So the local corporation has come out with a simple tarpaulin sort of thing, where the people waiting at the signal, they temporarily get a good shade. The second one is, if you see in many of these marriages, the plates are so heavy and people find it very difficult to hold it and then eat too. So this kind of a small stand actually helps the people to actually have their fun. They can stand together, they can have their fun. The last one is made by some IBM employees. They realize that once the IBM laptops are scrapped, the batteries, they still have some sort of life, despite having so many cycles of charging and discharging and charging and discharging. The batteries will still have some sort of life, which can be used to just light up a sort of one single LED lamp, and a sort of help the mobile to be charged. So you give only 2 points, for one for lighting and one for charging the mobile. For the small vendors like these small shops, this is extremely useful for those people. So all the used batteries are used for this kind of a purpose without any external investment. Now, innovation is what we keep talking about when you talk about entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is nothing but innovation. If you are doing something which is same as others have done, you have to introduce something very innovative. Otherwise, why would somebody come to you instead of going to the other person? Like if you take about Amazon, Amazon was already there. Then Flipkart came in India. Why should anybody buy from Flipkart when Amazon is a big name? So Flipkart came out with a simple idea of cash on delivery, which Amazon never offered. And in India, that when Flipkart entered, not many people had the digital payment mode and not online, not this kind of credit card systems and all that. So they also found that Indians want to see the product and then buy also. So this cash on delivery gave them a lot of confidence that yes, metal is coming to me, then only I am paying it. Whether they see it or not is a secondary issue, but they got a very comfort level very high. So that is where Flipkart actually, when they came into India, they came with COD and it has become an instant hit for them. That is where they started doing great business in India. Innovation need not be only in one case. Why I am telling few other cases of innovation is to tell how you must think. Like either it's a jugaad concept or a frugal concept or innovative concepts. Everything is basically your idea. This particular boy, he wanted to have a job. He was not getting a job. So he simply hired a big billboard, put it on the top of one highway, whatever it is in US. And then he posted it there and then he got his job offers in no time. Another boy who was very good in AutoCAD, instead of sending a resume saying that I am specialist in AutoCAD, I can do this, that, he actually made a sort of box, like a pizza box or whatever it is, and he created his resume in all sides of that particular box. So the person who receives this, if he is an AutoCAD engineer, he will appreciate that how he has taken the minute details in his resume to fill in that box and how he could create the box as well as the resume. So this kind of a creativity actually gives them a very quick recognition. Another person was very smart. He realized that his resume was not going to a lot of HR people. So what he has done, he put some 3 or 4 donuts in a box, and in the box on the back end cover, he put his resume, saying that at least if you eat my donuts and at least see my resume. So that way also he got his job. If he has nothing to do with his skills, he didn't make his own pastries or made his thing, but he got the attention of the people. And generally what happens, the ideas are actually very next to you. You may not even know, but its only thing is you have to see how close you are to an idea and how close you are ready to implement such things. One concept is find what is missing in the market. There are so many colas. There is Coca-Cola, there is Fantas and Mirandas, and then Pepsis are there. Everything is there. And this particular company, this paper board, they wanted to enter in the market. They have decided that they want to enter into the cola, fruit juice market, whatever it is. Then they found that there is no Jaljeera in the market. And Jaljeera is very popular in South India. So what they have started is, first product they did was paper board with a Jaljeera. And it was an instant hit because nobody else had a Jaljeera product. Of course, now after this, there is one more product called Bindu or someone is there who does in a bottled thing, not in the this kind of a Tetra pack. So once this Jaljeera has become popular and they got enough funding and all that, now these people supply everything, grape and orange, everything, there's mango, all flavors are added now, and that is like a scaling up. So their initial USP was Jaljeera. Then scaling up is other flavors of mangoes and grapes and all others what others supply. And their packing was very innovative, very attractive, and use and throw type. So it worked very well for them. So if something is already in the market, it doesn't mean that you can't enter. You can always enter, but you have to find what niche you are going to add into the market. And passion. This passion really helps you a lot. If you see on the left hand side, that is one Salman Khan in US. He was working in a company and his niece, she wanted some sort of technical help in USA. Both were, he is a Pakistani in US, and his nephew, actually niece, they wanted some help in the US itself. So he was finding it difficult to train her. So he started creating videos and send her so that she will learn. Slowly what happened, they went on become popular, and then the niece friends, they started asking for more subjects and more topics, and he went on creating more and more videos. Finally created something called Khan Academy. On Khan Academy, he uploaded hundreds of videos. They're raw videos. Actually, he never used to make it a polished videos or computer based videos and all. It is a simple video, simple explanation on a video. So then when this whole thing started picking up, then more and more people joined, and then it has become a huge site. And then he got a lot of funding from many people. Now, of course, he's still running like a non-profit organization. He doesn't charge anything for the videos to be downloaded or used on the YouTube. But he gets his huge salary from the funding agencies. The second one is Mr. Baiju, who was doing some sort of training in Bangalore for engineering students and all that. He was running successful uh, offline tutorial where he used to teach personally, and he himself used to teach with some other teachers. They used to teach other subjects, and they made quick inroads and they made good progress. And then they got an idea of going online, and that is where they got good funding from others. And now, of course, they are the India's biggest unicorn, and they are doing very well in the segment. The other one is the customer input, where uh, customers generally give a lot of inputs. It depends on you how you collect that information and how you implement your systems, how to improve a system, or you create a new system on this. In this particular case, this particular supplier, he was doing only something called angioplast. What they were doing is they were actually sending a balloon into that. In a heart valve, there is a sort of fat accumulation. Uh, they send a balloon inside. They press the fat so that it gets reduced. That the path gets cleared. When he was talking to the doctors and nurses, asking about how how to improve this particular system, they said every time there is a fat accumulation, we are trying to do this, and then after some time again it comes back. Why can't you do something where that doesn't come back? You push it back and keep it in that particular place. So that is where they thought about more and about this. They came out with something called angioplast. What in angioplast, what they do is they'll send a balloon inside along with a small metal clip. The clip goes inside, the balloon inflates, and then the clip goes and stays back into the position. So it pushes the fat content, everything, and that stunt stays in the position so that heart attack will get reduced. So listen to the customers, what customers want, how they want to improve the system. Based on that, you design your new system or modify your old system. Me too. Many, India is popular for Me Too projects only. We have not found any Microsoft, we have not found any Oracle, we don't find any MS SQL servers, we don't have WhatsApp, we don't have a Twitter, we don't have a Facebook, we don't have a LinkedIn. Everything is a copied idea in India. But is there a scope? Yes, there is still a scope, provided you find, like last time I told about Flipkart, they found some unique thing. So there was already a PayPal across the world, but Paytm started in India. That time PayPal was not very popular, so Paytm came into the business, and then they were doing reasonably okay. But demonetization gave them a big boost because everybody had Paytm that particular time, and of course after that everybody has their own. There are so many payment gateways have come, Citrus, PayU have come, Oxygen has come, and many people have come in. So, and Ola is a copy of Uber. Everything is like that only, but you really do not bother. India is a huge market. We have got 140 crore population. So, whatever you do, there could be a big business. So, generally, don't worry about competition. If you have strong will to do something, you can always do something. So, but you have to provide some good value add in whatever you are doing. Then the other thing what you look at in the entrepreneurship is about the opportunity. Like Amazon was started only with the bookstores. That time there was only 2 or 3 bookstores. One was Amazon and another is Barnes and Noble, and they were doing pretty well. Then they realized that how long we can sell only books. They have to expand and they have to see what best can be done. So then slowly they started toys, they started electronic items, and slowly they become a huge market e-commerce segment. Now Amazon supplies everything on earth on Amazon. So that is how they actually leverage their entire operations based on the opportunity. As and when there is a new product which is required, they will add to the system. Similarly, if you see in India, suddenly we found uh, a shortage of mass. So immediately all this garment manufacturers, they stopped manufacturing garments. They moved into mask making mode and PPE kits. So they converted quickly all their manufacturing lines into mask making and a PPE kit manufacturing. They made enough money because instead of sacking people, because there is no demand for the garments, they did not close the units. They converted that units into face mask manufacturing units and that kind of a thing where they really prospered. They at least survived. I can't say prospered. They at least survived the pandemic. I always keep telling that idea is only 5%, execution is 95%. Anybody can have an idea, or somebody, most of the people, they're afraid that if they tell their idea to someone, somebody will copy. Please come out of that mindset, because even if you have a unique idea, you launch it, next day the whole world knows what exactly you are doing. They'll do the reverse engineering, and because they are doing reverse engineering, they know your system, they know, they watch you closely. What you have done in 1 year, they can do exactly in 1 month or 2 months. So don't worry about competition. You see how you are going to do it quickly and how you are going to get your customers. So don't focus more on the idea. Idea is a must. You have to have a good idea, which is viable idea, which market needs it, and then you execute it. Execution is what is very, very critical. Even if you are doing a Me Too product, again, execution comes into the picture. Even if you have a unique idea, your execution comes to the picture. You have a good product, but nobody knows about it, nobody will buy it. So that way, what happens is people should know that you have a good idea and they should also buy and implement. In this case, I also try to tell another story which one PES College of Engineering did. Actually, not the college. They gave one floor for any budding entrepreneurs to come and set up their own startup in their university. And their intention is maybe some engineering students work as interns and they learn something, and then probably if the startup grows, they can become the employees of that particular startup as well. And the same students also can start their own startups in the same university if they are interested. This way back. Then one gentleman called Iyer, Shrikant Iyengar, he took one small cabin there, and then he didn't know what to do. He just wanted to do something and he went there, and then he wanted to do something in education segment. He was watching what is happening. Then he realized that these final year students, they have got excellent notes. Every topper has a excellent notes, but they don't share with the colleagues, because if they share with their own classmates, the other classmate also will get good marks. No topper would like to share his notes with others. I think you know it better. So what he has done, collected the notes of the previous year toppers, just scanned everything, put it onto a CD and sold. Electronics engineering, one particular CD, final year electronics engineering, one CD he sold. And all the pre-final year batch students, all of them, they bought the CDs because they wanted the toppers notes. So next year, what he has done, he collected the same notes from everyone. He converted into a digital readable format, because not every topper's handwriting is good. So they actually convert that into digital media and put it onto a CD, and they sold it on the second year. So third year, they became more smart. He collected more toppers notes, and then he compiled everything together, and then he made a better probably lesson plans or whatever it is. Then he became a very good resource for the EdTech company. So after that, they sold the company to Manipal, and then finally, I think that company is bought by Byju's. And this is what I tell, if anybody is interested in starting any startup, first think over the idea again and again and again and again. You have to say why I am starting this, why I am starting, for whom I am starting, do they really need it? So these are the questions you have to ask when you are talking about why and why and why. Then you have to start writing. If you start writing, you will actually put everything in paper, and then your ideas will go into a proper documentation process. Then you know what exactly you want, and then tomorrow you come back, visit the same document, you modify it, edit it, and delete it, and then keep adding it. And once you have a document, good document, you'll have very good idea of actually what you are going to do. Now, after doing all this, you must have a team. You alone cannot do much. If you see, in any business, there are multiple things. One is idea. The second one is actually doing something technically. Third is managing the finances. The next part is selling, marketing and selling. You may not be able to do everything. So you have to have something. Even if you are a good programmer, you have to have somebody who will do a good front end design. If you are a good front end designer, you may have to have somebody who is good in database design, or you may need someone who will do your Android app or iOS app. And you certainly need somebody who knows how to sell it also. So you have to plan a team. So first we recommend to have at least two co-founders in any of these startups, whatever you are going to start. And the co-founder is always useful for you in either brainstorming sessions or as a moral support, whatever it is. And most of the time you want to talk to someone and discuss. If you talk to someone, you'll come out with new ideas all the time. So you have a co-founder, work with him closely, build the teams. If you want another freelancers or some other friend who is interested to sell, pull them all together and do it. So here there is one more thing is in Bangalore, there is one institute called Triple IT, Indian Institute of Information Technology. They deal with only technology and IT part of it. So their entrepreneurs, they're all good in making the software, bringing out the solution. But generally, all technical people, they lack in sales and marketing skills. So what this institute has done is they tied up with IIM Bangalore, Indian Institute of Management Bangalore. So IIM Bangalore guys, they're all good in sales and marketing and finance aspects and all those kind of aspects. So this is a perfect blend between engineering and a management institute. So one co-founder may be from engineering side and one co-founder may be from the IIM side, where he takes care of the sales and marketing in finance. So that kind of a combination actually helps any kind of a startup. So that is next one is the finances. Initially you have to do some sort of bootstrapping, take money from parents and then brothers, sisters, relatives, friends, everyone, and do something and then come out with a MVP. MVP is a minimum viable product, where you have to show something to someone saying that this is how I'm planning something. Otherwise, seeing is believing. See, without seeing, many people will not be able to appreciate what you are trying to do. So MVP is a product where you actually give to the market as a trial run. You do something. I don't know. Maybe somebody would have already told about MVP. So I don't want to make much of this. This MVP actually should be able to give you a sort of recognition as well as the traction. So some people should start using your product and give you the feedback. Based on the feedback, you improve your product, or you already have some sort of features which are all planned for a beta version. So you this MVP works as a market validation. Once the MVP is ready, put it in the market, see how people are reacting to it, how they're, whether it's a comfortable, user friendly, or is it useful product or not useful product. Sometimes you may think that your product is very useful, but it may not be useful. In fact, when our company started psychometric testing and we started assessment business in 2000, our CEO went to Ministry of HRD and said, you have to have only online exams in future. He laughed and said, first, how do you think online exams will work in India? It won't work. You forget about online exams. Fortunately, over years, online computers have penetrated into every single campus, and then we are able to do computer-based exams without any problem today. Any given point of time, we'll be able to conduct 30,000 exams in a single day. Even in remote proctor exams, all you students are taking exams from the home, and these are all possible because of the infrastructure. The test market today, you have to see whether it is going to sell or not. Otherwise, it's of no use building it, because we did this work in 2000, and from 2000 we have been struggling, and then finally we got a breakthrough only in 2005 from BITS Pilani, and then we are doing their BITS Pilani BITSAT exam from 2000 onwards, and already this is the 16th year we are doing their exam. So it will take initially a lot of time to convince the market, educate the market. It will take some time. So you have to find out which is actually a marketable product, and then you do that exercise. Then of course get the traction. And many times what happens is people think that when I give it free and there are thousands of users, but will they buy anything? They like WhatsApp, they're very famous in India. They said in India, they asked us to pay 50 rupees per year. We refused. We are not interested. If somebody else comes in which is cheaper than WhatsApp, we'll go to that. So in India, we don't pay even 50 rupees for WhatsApp per year. So you have to see how you will get the traction, how many users are there, how many free users are there, how many are paid users are there. And if the paid users are there, it is good for you. If it's only a free users, it only builds your confidence, it will improve your product, but it nothing more than that. You can't scale up with the free users. So the scaling up is very, very important. If there are 100 paid users, you have to see how you can scale up to 1,000 paid users and 10,000 paid users. That is how this uh, Byju's and all they are doing now. They are all pushing people very hard to get the paid users. Earlier they had a lot of free users. Now they are pushing people for paid users. I think this is my end of the session, and I leave the platform for you people to ask question answer session, and anybody can ask any question. I am open for all this. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It was a wonderful and very informative session, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. So anybody, they can ask questions. I love questions because that is where more information will flow actually. I will stop the screen sharing. Yeah. Anybody is asking questions?
Sir, one participant dropped their question in chat box, sir.
Okay.
Kindly explain more about MVP.
Okay. See, MVP is nothing but a simple product. Suppose you are having, say, 10 features. The 10 features may not be possible to build within, say, about 3 months or 4 months and to test the market. So, what you do is basically you come out with a small product which will do feature 1 and 2 and 3, not more. So, those three, you should know the pulse of the people. So, you start giving something first, test the market, how it is responding, whether this particular feature is useful or not useful, if the product is useful or not useful. If people say it is useful, then you start adding more and more features to that MVP. Then it becomes a product. MVP is a minimum viable product. It means you are giving the customer what is the minimum part, not the maximum part. So that is basically to create a customer level, confidence level, and how it is useful to them, not for you. You have to give a full product of 10 features. But putting effort for 10 features, it may take a lot of time for you, maybe more than a year and a half, and then probably you have to spend more than maybe about 30-40 lakhs. Instead of that, you spend only 1 lakh or 2 lakh or 3 lakhs in next 3 months, blow your money, come out with a minimum viable product, which is a minimum product, where let people try it, then check it, and then do it. So probably if I talk about, see the one I showed you on a paper boat where Jaljeera, maybe I can call that as a MVP. It's a full-fledged product, but they tried only with one Jaljeera. It became successful. Then they started pushing into the bigger level. But of course, it's not exactly an MVP because it's like a professionally bottled Tetra Pak and all that. So I'm just telling you, initially you start with something, and then if it works well, then you make it bigger. That is the idea of MVP. If you enable their mics, probably they'll ask more. If anybody wants, they can. No. Nothing is coming, I think.
Yes, sir. They're commenting in the chat box. Nice session,
Only
excellent
that's
session.
all.
Yes, sir.
They should ask more questions. Then, see, the idea is to actually make them think. See, we cannot give them ideas and all that. So they have to think. A lot of doubt should come in. Then only the curiosity will increase and they'll start doing something. Anyway, let us see if they are interested, they can always contact me directly also. My details are there with you. So there is one more session tomorrow, last.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Somebody says, kindly make us unmute. Maybe that person you can unmute. Who is that?
Hi.
Yeah, Karthik.
Yes, sir. Actually, so far we have this is the fourth section. Before I'm going to the question, I'm the one who asked about the MVP.
Okay.
This is a very wonderful session. So far, you gave very good examples, and which is, the words you have used are very simple, and hope everyone has the same mindset. I think so. Again, my question is. Whenever we go for a business presentation or something, they used to tell, they used to give an example like that. One guy who found an ice cream for dog, but it's not a viable product. But my thought is like even he can sell ice cream for dog. Definitely, there will be. Whenever I go to a conference or any business presentation competitions, or even in that, some people used to tell the same story like that. One guy who found an ice creams for dog
Okay.
ice cream. So that's a unique idea, but it's not applicable in India like that. They used to give a feedback like that. So what they used to say is, we should find a product that is marketable. They are saying that dog ice cream is not a product. They can't market it like that. They will tell. Similarly, I'm just asking, like, even that is also a product, right? Even he has a good unique idea, like making an ice cream for a dog.
No, there is a small issue in this. The person who is trying to make this ice cream for dogs, whether he's an animal lover, first of all, does he know that ice cream can be given to a dog or not? Because what I hear is dogs are not supposed to be fed ice creams. So if you are trying to give something which is not, see, the dog lover, if as a dog owner, probably you would love to give the ice cream. But ice cream is for the dog. Whether feeding the dog, which is a poisonous or to the dog, whether it's a right thing or a wrong thing, only the dog owner will decide. So dog will eat the ice cream. If you give the ice cream, it will eat it. There is absolutely no problem. So it's a good product for the dog to eat, but it's bad for its health. Like it's like a junk food. So it depends on, see, in a junk food, what happens is it's your conscious decision. You are actually you are going, you know that junk food is bad, you know pizza is bad, but still you eat it. It is your decision. In a dog case, what happens is dog is not able to identify whether it's a good thing for it to eat or bad thing to eat. So now as a dog owner you are giving it, so that is your mistake. So that is where people would tell that this ice cream for the dog is not a good product. If you talk about anything other than the dog ice cream, they would have appreciated. If you say anything like a dog toys, if you say about a special food for dog, or there are a lot of food available for the dog, so they will not object to it. So you have to see why these people said it's not a viable market viable product. So that by the particular person who has got the idea, he should think that why they said so. Generally, what happens is they won't even give the feedback. They just refuse. When the contest is there, we just give the marks and close it. We don't give much of feedback. So in this particular case, if somebody said that this is not a good idea, you should go back and check this and then say, instead of ice cream, can you find something which is more tastier, which is more nutritious to your dog? Then introduce a new one. That should be the approach.
Sure. Sir, another question is,
yeah.
how we can effectively pitch our idea to an angel investors?
See, that is a big mistake every entrepreneur does actually. I keep telling, don't rush yourself to any investor in the beginning. First, you should know how this whole thing works. Whether you have a knowledge, whether you have a market. These two. First is supply, one is demand. Whether you have a demand in the market, whether you can supply to that particular demand. So now you are starting something. You need some sort of money to actually start. That is where we tell you to do bootstrapping, where you collect money from friends, relatives, your own money, saved money, whatever it is. First, you try to do something and see if the market wants it. If market wants, you are still short of money, then you can go to the angel investor. Otherwise, what happens? You start collecting money and then build that onto that. I will take another example of one engineering student in, I think, SRM University, Chennai. One student, what he used to do is, he found that many of these engineering students, they wanted Xbox and big TV to play video games. So what he has done is he bought his own Xbox and his TV was there in his room. He started actually giving it on rent to other friends. For 1 day or 2 days he would give. So then he started seeing huge demand. So he started buying more from other friends. And then other friends have contributed to the purchase of this Xbox and TV. And they used to give it on rental to some other people. And they used to get money from that. And then they used to share. Then one fine day, he even sent his even bike, personal bike, he gave it to somebody on rental business. So what I'm trying to tell is he's trying to leverage the customer base. So he is taking money from the customers, reinvesting into the business. And he is using his available resources without even going to anybody, angel investor, or getting 10 Xboxes and 10 TVs. He started growing. First he got one, and then he made it two, then he made it as a four. But then he had about 5 or 6, and then he entered into different things like giving only the computers on rental business for his own friends circle in the college. Because he was in the third year and final year student, so many students, they used to take these materials from him actually. So this is how this young student actually started building his own business within the college itself. So you don't, your idea is good, but implementation, that is what I keep telling, which is very, very critical. How are you going to implement it? Don't run to investors. I keep telling that let your customers be your investors. So you sell one product, say, for about 20% profit. That 20% profit, don't eat yourself. You first reinvest that into your business. So 5 products you sell, you got 100 back. That 100 again you invest back into the system and again grow. Yes, growth will be slower. If you get investments, growth will be much faster. So you have to decide in your Excel sheet how much money you want to make per year and how much you want to scale up. Again, one more big problem with any of these investments is all these people, they make a mistake is they will rush to angel investors first. So you have an idea, okay, some angel investor will give you a fund of say 2 lakhs or 5 lakhs. Then you will say that I want a minimum of 25% to 30% of your equity. So just for 5 lakhs, you are actually giving away almost 25% of the stake to angel investor, because he is putting the investment and he is 5 lakhs is at risk. If you crash and you just drop the idea and then you go and join a company, his 5 lakhs is gone. So that is a risk he is paying. That's why he will take more stake on this. Now what happens after your initial round is over, this angel investing is over, and then slightly you are into the groove, you want to grow further. Say you want about 15 lakhs or 20 lakhs, you go for some sort of VC funding or another funding, Series A funding, Series B, Series C, so many fundings are there. And level by level, as you keep going and keep taking more and more investment, suddenly you will find that only 5% of company is with you, 95% is with somebody else. So now what happens? You are practically like an employee in that particular company. Whatever the 95% people say, you have to do it. Though officially it is your company, but somebody else will be dictating. So now what happens? You can't use your product, your solution more creatively as you want. You you will be forced to sell as they want. So be careful in going to the angel investors and all that. That is my personal opinion. You still want to go to angel investors, you can still go to angel investors. What they will look at, how do you pitch it, depends on how you are going to show them the numbers. You have to tell them very clearly, first year I will be able to sell this many, second year I will be able to sell this much, and third year I will be able to sell this much. And if they see that there is going to be that kind of a market, if I'm investing 5 lakhs or 10 lakhs, definitely I will do my own research. Yes, this particular product is useful, and then they will invest in that. So that is left to you, how you are going to pitch it to this.
Sir, one last question. Now it's e-commerce era. What would be the future according to you?
E-commerce is going to be there. This is a permanent solution now, because everything we are buying online, and then everything is online. So future will be like how efficient you are, how quick you are, how you are addressing the quality and customer care. Those things are more important.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. This is one of the wonderful webinar I have attended. Thank you, and I thank the people who invited you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thanks for kind words.
Ramesh sir, shall we end up the session, sir?
Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, sir. Thanks for sharing your invaluable time with us, sir. And also, I wish to express our sincere gratitude to you for giving an excellent coverage on today's topic, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Ping me anytime you want, so no problem. I am always available for people.
Sure,
if
sir.
anybody wants to contact me directly, you can share my details with them, actually.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Have a great day. Bye.
Thank
Bye
you,
all.
Dear participants, the feedback link has been shared in chat box. I request you all to drop your valuable comments. Thank you. Thank you all.